Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Proline week, what is this? Week 14 edition already in the National Football League.
Can you believe it?
Wow, this season is flying. I'm Dave Koken. Jim Feist is here. Sean Hess joining us. The gang is all here. We've got a couple of good games to look at. But first, got some big news to tell you about, and that is from world champion handicapper Jim Feist. Jim, you have zeroed in on the game, NFL Game of the Year. Awesome track record on this over the years. And sounds like you're more than confident about this one.
Well, I've had a really great NFL season, Dave, as you know, and that includes the totals as well. Now, last week, stubbed the toe a little bit. I had a couple games that didn't go my way. Felt that I had the right side, just didn't work out. This week, I have my NFL Game of the Year. My 2013 NFL Game of the Year goes on Sunday. It's $100 online. You can get it for $25 with a guarantee. Winner the rest of the NFL regular season is free. I'm 13-4-1 going back the last 18 years on this NFL Game of the Year. And that includes the Chargers destroying the Ravens 34-14 in 2011. The Giants crushed the Saints 52-27. These kind of games. This is what I got going. I love this game. I have a large wager on this game personally.
Very large.
Yes, and I'm not going to say it on the air how much, but it's a big one. I love it. I think the spot's great. The
is it
team
more
is
than
great.
$100?
Slightly.
Slightly more.
You got to add several zeros. But folks, if you want this game, it's very simple. Special offer. Just call 1-866-841-1655. It's $100 online, but you make that phone call, you get it for $25. Call it often. Call it 100,000 times. 1-866-841-1655. You get this big game along with me. We will cash and we will collect.
All right.
Hey, Dave, should we try and squeeze it out of him? You know, ask him if it's a favorite or a dog, a home or a road team. Should we try and work it out of him here?
I would suggest
get him to give it up.
No, I would suggest you call a number. I mean, for $25 with a guarantee, you can't go wrong on this. Jim's had a great year in the NFL, and that NFL Game of the Year run is they don't lose many. Okay, so it's a real good play. I also am running pretty well right now. I always do it this time of year. I like the end of the season because I'm not a trend guy at all. I don't care about that stuff, but I am very much a stat guy, a metrics guy. And at the end of the year, you got a metrics database that's just not going to take you down the wrong path. Doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but there's absolutely no question that I'm getting on the right side of more games than not. I had a very good college football weekend again. The college basketball is off to an enormous start. Now, I'm not going to tell you I'm winning at everything. My NBA has been garbage, and I'm playing very little NBA because of it. And the NHL, quite frankly, I can't catch a break. I mean, it's just it's just been a lot of bad luck. Fortunately, I don't play as many games in the NBA and the NHL. Most of my stuff is college football, the NFL, college basketball. NFL's been okay. The college football has been really good. And the college basketball, if there's anybody doing any better than I am in college basketball, get their plays, okay? Because they must be making a ton. I'm doing extremely well in college basketball. If you just play a flat one unit on every game I've released, the last 2.5 weeks since we got rolling in college basketball, you're already up close to like 20 units, okay? That's a lot. And here's what I got for this weekend. I'm going to take you through Monday. I'm going to give you 2 big games that I've got circled in basketball for Saturday. I know about where the number's going to be on these games. It's not that difficult to figure out. In fact, I'll tell you one of these days what they're using as the main guideline to set the lines. It's not that difficult. This isn't rocket science. So I know what the lines are going to be. You're going to get 2 big games in college basketball. I've also got 2 NFL under the hat plays coming up on Sunday. Again, these are great situations. Going to take advantage of them. Total cost, $19 for all 4 plays. These are going to put money in your pocket. I'll be shocked if they don't go at least 3-1. I think there's a real good chance they go 4-0. $19, 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. Okay. We're going to look at a couple of NFL games. We always like to get our Twitter question or Facebook question of the week up first. And you want to follow us at Jim Feist Sports on Twitter or on Facebook. Follow us or friend us, I should say, at Proline TV. This is from Damon Jenkins of Fort Worth. Jim, this is right up your alley. I was in Vegas last month, and they have limits on how much you can wager on football totals. Why is that? Don't they want my money?
They want your money. However, I'm going to say this right out front. It's easier to bet, and it's easier to beat totals than it is to beat sides. And it's been that way forever. And for me, I do well at both. The totals are too soft, so books take less money. Some places won't even take total bets. So it is definitely easier, so they limit their exposure. And you're a businessman. I assume you're a businessman. If not, you understand that people don't like giving away money.
Right.
And a lot of places will give total lines and take total bets just as a concession because they don't feel like they can win. So they'll take $500 on the total and $20,000 on the side. That should tell you something. That should tell you that, A, they get enough action to balance their sheets on the sides, but they don't get enough on the totals. And they feel like they have a higher expectation to win with the sides, but they don't with the totals. So it's a pretty obvious answer, but it's a good question, and I'm glad you asked it.
It is, and I'll just chime in with this. They're in business. They're in business to make money. The casinos. I don't begrudge them this. I don't get mad at them and say, "Oh, you're not giving us a." They're in business. You can go in there and bet as much as you want on Keno. They'll take whatever you want on Keno. All right, because the odds are stacked in their favor on that. They're not on totals, particularly since and you look at this time of year in football. There's no way that you can't look at football and say, look, there's an edge to me. It doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but you can grab an edge just by following the weather forecasts. All right, you're going to win more than you lose on this if you get in the win games and play under. I mean, it just works that way. Well, again, they're going to let you win on this, but they're not going to let you win a lot. And in college basketball, they're really tightening up on the totals because they've gotten destroyed on them. They're not in business to lose money, Sean. So, I know people get upset and say, that's not fair. Yeah, it's fair. Welcome to business. Okay, that's just the way the world is. If you want to live in some fairy tale land, I guess it's not fair. But in the real world, it's fair, okay?
Yeah, and in fact, it's not just totals. I mean, NFL versus college football, just about every store will take twice as much or more on an NFL game than they will on a college football game because, first of all, there's only 32 NFL games. There's a lot hard, there's no secrets there. And there's about 300 basketball college teams or 300 college football teams that we can bet on. The total thing also, Jim, you probably remember some of this. I don't know if Dave is old enough, so this will be between you and I. But it seems like whenever there's been a scam from the 60s on, it's usually been in the area of totals, especially in college basketball. And I think we can make a few teams. We can mention a few teams that happened about 20 years ago. But it always seems like when there's somebody running some kind of scam, it's on a total side rather than on the side. And I got used to that back in the 50s. Yeah,
exactly. You want to do one recent memory, Tim Donaghy, he wasn't doing it on sides, he was doing it on totals.
On totals, yeah. For some reason, they always pick on the totals. So they really do watch the totals, especially in college basketball, like you mentioned, also in hockey. They look at those totals pretty close in hockey, especially when there's overtime games. So the question does surprise me a little bit, but the fact is differences in what they'll take is in every sport, NFL versus college football or basketball. But the totals, they always do look for the scams.
All right, let's check in with our man on the street, and then we'll get to the games. Jeff Stott from LVSS. Jeff is here with another free National Football League total. What do you got, Jeff?
Thanks, guys. Got a free total coming up in the NFL, but first, you can get the rest of December in football and basketball with Las Vegas Sports Services for $29. That includes the Bowls, NBA, and college hoops, along with my NFL mismatch game of the year on Sunday. Just call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916. Your free play comes in the NFL on Sunday as the Raiders and Jets meet in New York. You're not talking about wide open offenses here. Both are conservative run-first attacks, as both teams' QBs have combined for more picks than touchdowns. And with both teams preferring the run, both run defenses are actually very good. Throw in the New York code and the fact that the Jets are 5-1 under the total in December. Look for a game with more field goals than touchdowns. Take the Raiders and Jets under the total. Once again, you get the rest of December in football and basketball with the LVSS for only $29. That will include the Bowls, NBA, and college hoops, along with my NFL mismatch game of the year on Sunday. Call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916.